every day, all the year round. I had no doubt that he was a standard bearer in the making, and here he is tonight, a Royal Borough Standard Bearer for 2025, Darren Knox. Darren, you have been brought up steeped in Commonwealth tradition, making you more than qualified to take on the responsibilities ahead. I am more than confident that you'll carry out your duties in fine style and be a credit to yourself, your family, and the Royal Borough. Your presence here tonight symbolises a timeless connection to our past and a vibrant future ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Darren a rousing welcome as we stand up and sing Up With the Cedars.
It's up with the suitors of Selkirk and down with the yellow union, and here's the other brown laddies that wear the single soldier. It's up with the suitors of Selkirk, for they are big, trusty and leal, and up with the lads of the forest and down with the mercy the dew. True blue and scarlet, and up with a single ocean. It's up with the suitors of Selkirk, for they are big, trusty and leal, and up with the lads of the forest, and down with the mercy the deal. Oh, miters are made for noddles, and feet they are made for ship. Say to Selkirk as like and it's true to the men. They've said it's a suitor in Selkirk, but sings as he crosses his street. There's garden suitors in Selkirk as long as there's water in between. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Royal Borough Standard for 2025, Darren Knox.
Mr. Master, Provost Pound, Standard Bearer Gray, Lady Bussin Norma, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Fiona, Barleyman, Matthew and Thomas and myself, I'd like to thank you for the invitation to be here at your Bussin ceremony tonight and for the excellent hospitality extended towards us. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. As one of the few common riding functions we're not invited to as an attendant, tonight had an air of unknown about it for me, which was very refreshing. It's been a great night so far, and my most sincere thanks to you for allowing us to be a part of it. Once again, Selkirk Merchant Company has made an outstanding choice when selecting their standard bearer for 2025. Congratulations, Rob, on your appointment, and I'm sure you'll be a credit to yourself, the town, and the Merchant Company. Over the past few weeks, Fiona and I have been lucky enough to get to know yourself and Norma a bit better, and I would like to think that along with all the other crafts and association standard bearers and their partners, we've formed quite a team. We've been making memories to last a lifetime over the last few weeks, and I'm sure there will be many more to follow in the coming days. To you, Norma, I know how nervous and excited you've been over these last few weeks. You can take a big drink, sit back and relax a bit more now that the scary part is over. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night and the remainder of your week. I know this goes for all the partners and lady bussers, but I'm sure Rob could not have done it without your support over these last few weeks. May I congratulate you on the gracious manner in which you bussed the flag here this evening. The Merchant Company casting practices on a Sunday morning have been a great help to me so far. I would like to thank the Merchant Company for the invite to join you all at these practices, and to John and Mary Smale for allowing us to use their lawn, and for the famous courgette cake, which certainly lived up to the Parliament's hype. I feel I've benefited greatly from these extra practices, and I hope that on Friday morning all that practice comes to fruition as our ceremonies reach their culmination in that magical market square. I would also like to thank Viv Ross for her hospitality and invite to the excellent garden party a few weeks back. To be appointed Royal Borough Standard Bearer for 2025 is a huge honour for both myself and my family. The support, cards, gifts and good wishes I've received so far have been truly overwhelming. On Friday morning, my long wait will finally come to an end as I am entrusted with our borough flag. I can assure you all that with the support of my attendants we will do our best to carry out our duties to the high standard set by our predecessors. Make no mistake, however, tonight is quite rightly Rob's turn to take centre stage. Enjoy your evening, Rob, and try to take everything in. You've been an outstanding ambassador for Selkirk Merchant Company and for the Royal and Ancient Borough so far, and I know that when you step up to cast your famous banner on Friday morning, there will not be a prouder man in Selkirk. May the sun grace your flag on Common Riding Day, and I wish you a big following over the green. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honour to address you all as Royal Borough Standard Bearer here tonight at your bussing ceremony. I hope the weather is on our side on Friday and the hills are indeed tipped with gold. May I wish you all a hail, smile and morn, and I hope that 2025 is yet another happy and memorable common riding for you all. Mr Master, Provost Power, Standard Bearer Gray, Lady Bussin Norma, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you, Darren. On behalf of the Selkirk Merchant Company, I wish you a hail, smile and morn, a great flowing over the green, safe out, safe in on Friday, the 30th day of June. Standard Bearer Gray, Royal Borough Standard Bearer Knox, Provost Power, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is both an honour and a privilege to introduce our guest speaker this evening, a highly respected personality and a truly remarkable lady, Fiona Armstrong. Fiona will be giving the toast to Selkirk Merchant Company and the Royal and Ancient Borough. In preparation for this moment, I found myself searching for material to craft a speech worthy of such an esteemed personality, and what a treasure trove I found. Fiona is an award-winning broadcaster and writer, whose contribution to the world of journalism and storytelling has made a significant impact both nationally and regionally. Fiona's commitment to her craft is evident in every story she tells, bringing depth and compassion to her reporting. Her dedication to reporting on humanitarian issues has not only informed the public, but has also inspired action and awareness on critical global challenges. Beyond her impressive work in broadcasting, Fiona is also a talented producer, having created over 20 films that delves into the fascinating history of Scottish clans. Her passion for history is further showcased through her studies of the border weavers and the rich tapestry of borderland history. When she is not busy with her media endeavours, Fiona embraces her love for cooking and fishing, and through her passion for cooking, she has authored 2 cookbooks. In addition, Fiona has embraced the art of fishing, becoming one of the best-known female anglers in the United Kingdom. She has not only presented fishing programs for Sky Television, but she's also penned 2 books on the art of fishing. Fiona's accomplishments have not gone unnoticed. Apart from receiving an Outstanding Contribution Award, she holds a doctorate in history from the University of Strathclyde and has also been honoured with an honorary doctorate from the University of Glasgow. Additionally, Fiona is a distinguished fellow of both the University of Central Lancashire and the University of Cumbria. Well, most people may first associate Fiona Armstrong with her role as a news presenter with Scottish television, or her cherished work in border life. She is so much more. A storyteller, a historian, and an advocate. Fiona, in closing, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude for the opportunity to highlight your remarkable journey. Please join me in welcoming Fiona Armstrong to the stage to give the toast to Selkirk Merchant Company and the Royal and Ancient Borough.
Indeed, and thank you for being such an excellent master of ceremonies today. Really, you are superb, absolutely. And you've talked about my time in television, and you know it's a wonderful thing when you work in television because you get instantly recognised wherever you go. And it was a couple of years ago when I was shopping in Dumfries, and I was wandering around minding my own business, and suddenly this lady came up behind me and she tapped me on the shoulder and she said, "Excuse me, but I know who you are." And I smiled and I went, "Yes." And she went, "Yes." She said, You're that Angela Rippon, aren't you?" And I said, "Well, actually," and she just continued and said, "Look, I know you TV people, when you're out, you don't like to be pestered or recognised, but do you mind if I go home and tell my husband I've met Angela Rippon?" So I said, no, that's absolutely fine. Enough of this frivolity, Mr. Master. Merchant Company Standard Bearer Gray, Royal Borough Standard Bearer Knox, Provost Power, Lady Bussin, honoured guests, members, ladies and gentlemen. What an evening here tonight. In this room, we've had song, we've had speeches, we've had passion. Absolutely. We've had history, we've had tradition, and so it continues. I wouldn't have missed tonight for the world in this incredible building here with these amazing flags all around us. It is a great honour for me to be here tonight in bonny Selkirk, a big, a wee tune. Of course, Selkirk is one of the oldest royal boroughs in Scotland. This place has so many claims to its name, so many firsts. Had the first of the great border abbeys, a history second to none. You know, I always get a lump in my throat when I drive through Selkirk and I think of 1513 and the Battle of Flodden, and 79 of those 80 men mustered from the Sweet Tomb did not come home, they were killed. And here, when you go through, you're surrounded by memories of that. Sad memories, yes, but also proud memories that the men of Selkirk were willing to go and fight. Selkirk does not forget those people. Selkirk has connections, to so many people, to William Wallace, the freedom fighter, the man they said was declared Guardian of Scotland in a kirkyard here in the town. Fast forward a few centuries and we've got connections to the great Walter Scott. Then it's got a textile industry. I still have a tartan jacket The fabric was woven by one Andrew Elliott Armstrong jacket. I was going to mention the Selkirk Grace, but then I was told it didn't actually, may not have come from this town. It might have come from Galloway instead. Whatever, it's got the name Selkirk in it. There's the Selkirk banner. Absolutely delicious. Now, I'm an Armstrong, and as such I feel at home wherever I go in these great borderlands. But particularly I think when I come through this town, where I've filmed many times, be it in Walter Scott's courtroom, at Halliwell's House Museum, at the Haining, newly restored, or in the fabulous nature trail on the edge of the town. Selkirk is a very special place, I don't need to tell you that. Though as an Armstrong, I do admit to being a little bit nervous about being here in Scott territory. I think though I might just get away with it. Looking back in the day, the bold Buccleuch, a Scot, rescued my ancestor Kinmont Willie Armstrong from Carlisle Castle. A very daring rescue. He came across with his men on horse into the city in the dead of night, could have been killed when Scotsmen could have been killed after curfew in Carlisle. They didn't care, they found Willie, they rescued him and brought him back over the border. And this was in the 16th century, and when the English Queen, Queen Elizabeth, heard of this daring rescue, she called the Buccleuch down to London and she challenged him. How dare you invade the acres of my land, the far reaches of my land? And he's alleged to have said, Madam, what is it that a man dare not do? And she is alleged to have said, by God, with 1,000 such men I could shake the firmest throne in Europe. Those were the days, weren't they? Infamous reivers, both Scott and Armstrong. The Buccleuch, he later put down the sword and became respectable, a warden of the West March. Of course, the Armstrongs went on fighting, although Kinmont Willie, I have to tell you, lived to a ripe old age, dying in his 90s in his bed with his boots on. I'm not sure if they were made in Selkirk, because you have, or had, a real reputation for shoemaking, hence the suitors, who were no doubt part of the merchants and tradesmen who joined the Selkirk Merchant Company back in the day. The Selkirk Merchant Company, a venerable and ancient concern. One of only 2 merchant companies left in Scotland. We've got Edinburgh, and how lovely to see the representatives from Edinburgh here tonight. And we've got Selkirk. How special is that? Set up over 330 years ago, I think, to boost trade primarily, but also to be philanthropic, giving money for railways and a town hall, donating to a cholera fund, giving money to poor children in the town so they could be educated and clothed. In 1759, members of this august company voted to improve communications between Selkirk and the wider world. Hence they gave 20 shillings towards building a bridge over the Tweed. That was the wider world back in the day. And I think today 20 shillings would probably get you a brick. So Selkirk, motto I read, never left behind. And you certainly have not been left behind over the years. Much wealth was created, but much was put back into the community. And it continues to be so today. You fund local schools. You also fund the town's 3 bands. Then there is the common riding. As you shout out loud and proud your flags right across the town, because the merchant company and the common riding are inextricably linked. And as we approach this week, it's the highlight of the town's year. A time of tradition, a time of memories, of colour and emotion. I've filmed quite a few common ridings: Langham, Lockerbie, Good Neighbours, Jedburgh, you name it. I've probably been there over the years. 40 odd years I've been in broadcasting. And I've loved each and every one of them. But this, don't whisper it, is one of the best. Standard Bearer Grey, you're the 56th Standard Bearer, is that right?
Yeah.
That's a lucky number, I think. I think you're going to carry out your duties with style. This man is amazing. I've known him for a long time. He's an incredible photographer. He's also done an awful lot to save people in his other role as a paramedic. We wish you well. Standard Darren Knox, as I understand it, you have the honour of carrying the flag, and that honour generally goes to an unmarried native lad, one of good character and riding skills. I am told that such is the competition for this role that Selkirk's young men are mostly bachelors. They're all waiting and hoping. Seriously, I have a quote and it goes like this: "Traditions connect us to the past. They offer a sense of continuity and they allow us to honour our ancestors whilst passing on important values." Or to put it another way, tradition is not the worship of ashes. Tradition is the preservation of fire. That's a good one, isn't it? At the end of the day, this is all about communities, about pulling together. And in my role as Lord Lieutenant, I'm also Lord Lieutenant of Dumfriesshire, communities is something I'm really involved with, because that's what you do as a Lord Lieutenant. You encourage community effort, you celebrate achievement locally, etc. You're doing all of this here in Selkirk. And whilst I as the Lord Lieutenant, am the King's personal representative in my part of the world, I represent His Majesty, I can't actually speak for him, but I reckon that King Charles III would greatly approve of what is going on this evening and what is going on tonight. I like to think he would give his seal of approval to the Selkirk Merchant Company. Everyone appreciates all that you do here in Selkirk Merchant Company. Thank you for asking me here tonight to speak. It is a huge, huge honour. It is a night I will not forget. You are an ancient and venerable company, as I said. And it is a great honour, I repeat, to be here with everyone involved. Thank you for the dinner. Thank you for the songs. Thank you for the passion and the tradition. And it now gives me great pleasure to raise the toast to the Selkirk Merchant Company and the Royal and Ancient Borough.
Fiona, on behalf of the company, thank you for an excellent toast. Can we have Tommy and Jerry do the company, please?